Hey guys, welcome back to another What If here. Today we are doing What If Minato Became Naruto Part 2. In the last part we went through what would happen up until I think he was around 3 to 4ish years old. And also Naruto is also in this timeline born a girl, and I explained all of that in the last part. I don't think no, because I think currently he's just Minato, or I should say Ruby now. Was pretty much kicked out of the orphanage around 4, and she ran into hiding in the woods. And of course the fourth hokage is. Well, no, not the fourth, the third is just doing his nuts. Yeah, he's just mad. He's just mad that, a 4-year-old child can hide better than his arm boots can find. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get into this part. Oh, and also, guys, to what I've seen, seems like. Yeah, it seems like, some of you are interested in Minecraft, so obviously I was, keep it going. I don't know, I'll probably, no. Oh no, I think around episode 10, and if I see, average viewer count rate, so it goes up, and down, then, yeah, I'll keep going. But if I just, if I post a video and if in a day it still has 0, then yes. I'll stop it if within 24 hours it's none, because that's no fun. Yeah. Anyway, let's actually get into this. What if so? Of course, after meeting and talking with the Grim Reaper. Yeah. Ruby, or I should say Minato. He's just. And after talking to Kurama, yeah, he's just well, I'm gonna have to find somewhere to stay for now. Yeah, as you of course go go off to a part of a forest area inside of the village. As he finds a nice little cave, not too deep, but it's decent, and it's close to a river that flows by, so you can get food and that, and you can also knows how to hunt. And yeah, because he's just still trying to process the fact that his child, she pretty much, if the Grim Reaper, if his soul, or even the Grim Reaper didn't sell his soul inside of Naruto / Ruby now, that the child would have died. The body would have died because it had no soul. And yeah, because it just gives him a second chance to life, but he's just he feels like Kushina should have been the one to maybe possibly have a second chance, but he's going through some emotions and that. Yeah, and Chris is Ruby, don't forget you need to eat. You're not immortal. As much as you got lucky, being sold inside your, your child. You do need food and water, otherwise you end up dying. he's like, don't forget that I only need, like, I don't really need to eat that often. I only need to eat like once a month, and I'll be fine. Maybe like 4 times a month, so once a week. And like drink water, maybe like drink water every, like a day, like, maybe once or twice a day, and that's it. It's like, well, I know you're going through stuff, like, which I don't understand, because I've never had a child, and I don't know, the first thing of childcare, and that, and yeah, and there was like talk, and it's just like, and Minato like, wow, it's just hard, like I was like excited, and then out of nowhere the masked man attacked us. And I'm not blaming it on you, Kurama, because it's not like, it wasn't your fault. You wasn't the one that attacked us. Sure, you tried destroying part of our village, but that was only because you was angry of what the person did. I would be the same way if somebody forced me to do stuff, without my, forced me against my will to do something I didn't want to. I was just checking up to see if I made Kurama again, which I didn't, which is good, because it can lead to some fun things in the future, well into the future. Anyway, and like Ruby's belly starts grumbling, and grumbling even more, and Minato, he's just not you, like, he's like, used to being able to go for food without maybe for a couple of days to a week, but he needs to remember, he's in a 4-year-old child body, it's gonna want food, and plus, he's half, the child's half Namikaze, half half Uzumaki, and Uzumakis are known for their large chakra reserves and large appetites, or big appetites I should say. And of course it kind of hits Minato like freight train once he realises, maybe not freight train, but it definitely, he's like, oh no, I do need to eat, because I'm only, I'm really only 4, and Uzumakis eat a lot. Oh no. And so we, go out. So we will then leave his cave for the first time in 5-6 hours to go get some food and obviously get some water. And and Kuma's just laying down on the floor of the sewer, just watching. So I know it hasn't changed yet. And Kuma's just thinks to himself, I wonder how much he'll change from now until, she turns 10 to 11. I wonder how much he'll change. He's just thinking it, to himself. And that, from the fact that, she doesn't even want my power in the beginning, plus, I'm whole now, which is quite nice. But it's just, he's just, thinking something through and that, but he's not exactly, incredibly willing to, help out anyone, but he'll give Minato his power when when he's in a life or death situation, up until she's around the age where, say, maybe like around, say, 6 to 8 years old, where Kuma then start wanting to train her with her, like, within his chakra, within the Nine Tails chakra. Yeah. And so, and you think about it, it's like, well, she's currently living on her own, and, well, I don't think it would hurt her, like, being, having, to learn, learning how to control my chakra. I don't think it'd affect her that much. All the while, it may make her just, stronger, and plus, it'd give her, give her something to, fall upon if she, runs out of hers, and then it's like, wait, why am I thinking about that? Why am I worrying about her, of all things? Why? No, shouldn't be. Anyway, I'm going to sleep. Yeah. I think he's just thinking it, but, yeah. And, well, yeah. Because what he's feeling, yeah. And, of course, Minato would be back, or Ruby will be back now from a hunting session. Yeah. She got, she got some food, not a lot, but some. Enough to at least live on, even though she'll still be hungry. She won't be, craving food. Like, the first thing that moves, she'll throw in her mouth. She won't be that bad. Yeah. And, yeah. So then, days roll by, goes to weeks, 10 months. And then, yeah, a year would roll by with, Minato Ruby just living off the land as you'd, learn Kuma's name, or the Nine Tails' name, being Kuma, and, Kuma and Minato, just both using that, just talking to one another, so they've gotten slightly more willing to help. Or Kuma's got more willing to help Ruby, and Minato is he won't answer if, he won't really answer now, to Minato. As, Kuma's been at least trying his best to call him Ruby. Mind you, it looks, and within also that year, also his, his body from that year, so from the day that the Reaper kind of told him, what kind of happened and how he's now got a second chance of life and not waste it. Yeah. He's now, within that year afterwards, he's now, from that, it slowly started kind of changing into a cow, mind you, of, his actual own body. So his mental state represents his physical body. So instead of being, instead of being physically a girl, then in his mindscape being his normal body and age, it's now in his mindscape is the same as his body. And yeah. So he doesn't really have answer to Minato no more. And of course, the third hokage, so we would go hunting when she normally does, and as she's getting back, she can sense someone's watching her, or so you can just feel the presence, because of her boosted like senses thanks to, of course, just being there in Tokyo with the Nine-Tails Fox. Yeah, she can feel it as and she's thinking, so for the Hokage doesn't think I know he's here watching me. And she'll go, whoever is watching me, come out. I'm not in a mood to be watched in, and if you continue to watch me, I will attack on the assumption that you are trying to kill me. And Steve fellow Kage, would come out and go, whoa, I mean no harm. I mean no harm there. Yeah, I mean no harm. Just that I've been trying to look for you. Yeah, Ruby, I've been trying to look for you. Well, no, he would say Naruto, because, he doesn't really know that. Changed his name, and Ruby go, what do you mean Naruto? That's my old name. Who told you that? I go by Ruby now. Yeah, Nomni's never called me Naruto. Yeah, only the people I hate call me Naruto. And she goes, whoa, sorry, I didn't know. Nomdi told me that you had changed your name and that. Yeah, and you didn't answer my first question. Who told you? And he's like, your mum told me your name. But I thought it was kind of weird as, Minato's a, boy, a name for a boy, so I didn't really know you had changed your name. Yeah, Namdi is like, well, Namdi knows. It's like, well, obviously, as, well, yeah. And you go, well, and who are you? Because he knows, Minato knows who he is. Ruby obviously knows, because, yeah, but, of course, fellow Kage doesn't know that he knows, and he's just playing the part, because it'd be suspicious, how would this girl that he hasn't seen in 5 years, pretty much, and, say, roughly in, say, 3 to 4 years, know who he is. And, yeah. And you go, well, I am the third Hokage. Yeah. Hiruzen? Saratobi. And it's like, well, what are you doing, here, while you just watch me? It's just as I said before, young Ruby, I was looking for you as, well, a year ago, I know that the adoption center, they kicked you out. And it's yeah, so it's well, I didn't know that, and I did give them, I did pretty much warn them that if they did it ever again to anyone, that they would be killed on sight for doing stuff like that, because a child should never be forced out. Yeah. And you said, and who, he's still trying to find out who, who told, everyone, that, the gal, this gal, Ruby, is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Yeah. And And well, yeah, you'd be like, well, I can, if you don't accept lose, I can give you a place in the village, an actual house, and go. Why should I? Everyone that hates me, they will look at me like a demon, and well, I'm safe here. Nobody knows where I am except for you. Yeah, and because nobody knows where I am, I'm safe. Nobody glares at me. Nobody tries to kill me. Like if I have an apartment in the village, you say they'll then know who I am and they'll try and kill me. When I was kicked out, they called me Demon Fox, Demon Brat. So yeah, do you think I'll be happy to go back? And he's kind of talking about it, and I don't really understand why they call me that. The fox inside me, he's no demon. He's just a giant fox with 9 tails that's nice to talk to. As he was just like, when did she manage to talk to? And yeah, and in that kind of moment of just quietness, we was going to a mindscape, and it's just like, hey Kumba, would you give me, a little bit of your chakra, so a little bit, to say the point where my eyes go like red, just so I'm kind of angry. And you go, well, sure, but why? It's like, well, hammer home just how angry I am at him. I don't tell him who I actually am, because, well, then, it will just wreck stuff, and other stuff will happen, and yeah, I'd rather, have nobody know who I am. Well, I'm happy for you to know, and your brothers and sisters to know who I am, if they're nice. The nice ones do, say, but it's, yeah, no, I'm happy for your brothers, your brothers and sisters, Krimo, to know who I actually am. And yeah, because I've never ever dreamed of hurting you, and always look down on people who do. Yeah, and it's like, well, okay, but you may end up, just saying about something bad could happen. And he's like, well, if it does, I do always have you here, and you're really, my only friend that I could trust. As you go, and she can feel Christmas chakra going into her as her eyes slit red, and almost like that. Your eyes are red now, just like mine. And she'll fire back, what, just as cute as yours? I just go, whoa, you go, as you just sees Fox just kind of just doesn't know what to say. His mind's going a mile a second. Yeah, he's just going rampage, and it's just like, well, I'm gonna go now, and carry on talking. See ya. So I then it truly just clicks from what she said, and yeah, and Ruby then registers what she actually said, and she's like, why did I say that to him? Why did I? Yeah. and he's like thinking, like it's, because I'm a girl now, I'm probably gonna find, my tastes in that are definitely gonna change, which, well, change is change. I'm just gonna have to accept it. Yeah. And of course, outside, well, yeah, like the hokage can now feel like a bit of bloodlust, and also, and see Ruby now opening her eyes to the red slit, and she goes, "So, Hokage, what were you trying to force me back to that village? Well, there's people who want to try and kill me. Or would you just let me live here peacefully? And I know who the person who let out that the fox was still inside me." It's like, how do you know? He was planning on trying to kill me, but when he came in, I heard someone from outside, like, come in, like the person who was taking care of me, which I assume from since I was put in there. He said, "Donzo, what are you doing here?" And Donzo quickly kind of covered up what he was going to do. And he said, "I just came here to see, the child that holds the fox in her." And the person kind of said, you're not meant to. But once that person went, Donzo then said, out loud, not thinking that I could remember or even understand the words at that point, said that, well, if I can't kill her, I'll make her life miserable by telling everyone who the fox, who's got the fox. And yeah, he won't, like Hokage, he won't tell you, if it's true, because, well, why would he? No sane person will, confess to what they've done. Yeah, like, especially, to a secret, I assume, massive. Yeah, why would he? He'd be, he'd try and accuse you then of assuming that. And yeah, and then you just think that I'm making up lies, but yeah, and then, well, yeah, and they talk for a bit longer, and she'll, well, and the Kagura still want you to come to the village, and she'll just kind of go, "Fine, if you want me to come back, then make everyone believe that what Donzo said was false, and that the person that the Nine Tails was sealed in was, left the village already. The person professes no threat, and that whoever he told you it was a lie. He wanted to try and, kill that person. He hated that child. Because he hated the person that child was related to." And he kind of thinks, that's kind of a, idea, but he's like, and it's like, well, it's either that or I stay here and, leave. I've got, I don't have to stay here. I can simply leave the village. I won't be missing in because I'm not, she would say that. You wouldn't be able to do anything about it if I left because I'm, just a child technically. Well, yeah, I'm just a, child. and I can come in and out if I wanted to. You wouldn't be able to stop me or do nothing about it, because I'm not one of your pawns, to say. And he kind of goes, fine, I must say that. No, tell everyone that. And he'll then leave, and he'll go, well, if you want to come back and see me again, you know where I am, it seems like. Yeah. And of course, once, like the next day, because it'd be like getting late, Rui does eat, and Kuma, Kuma would go, that was a good idea to kind of fake that, to try and, at least kick, one of the people who were like, and Rui would go, I did always hate him, sure, he was loyal to the village, but he asked so many times to, get my wife to try and, turn her into like a military asset because she held, you, and I always said, no, she's not that, she's my wife, and it's not right on even your part to use the power for, and they would carry on talking for a while, and she goes to bed then after eating her food and that she cooked and that. And then, of course, the next day, of course, everyone's, surrounded the Hokage's tower. And, Danzo is taken, of course, to prison for letting an S-rank secret out. And, everyone kind of just feels bad now. Yeah, the people at the, the people that kicked her out of the orphanage, they feel even worse. As, they shouldn't have, just believed it. They should have asked the Hokage if it was true. And, they just feel they just feel terrible. They pretty much kicked out, a child for no reason that held nothing. They just believed what people said. Yeah. And, they treated her poorly. They were, and they were surprised that she was alive. And, they, after finding out, they went to him and said, they said they saw her, and he said, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it for me. That's not going to do it. You kicked her out without ever asking if those claims were true or not. And, and of course the elders are thinking, the two are, then the, of course, elders would want to talk to him. And, and the elders why, after, telling everyone, and everyone that at least did kind of see her, and they at least either, picked on her, hit her, called her names and that. They just feel bad now that they've just been calling, a child for no reason at all, except for rumours. Yeah. And, they feel bad, and it looks like if I hear any more of this from anyone, I don't care if it's rumours or anything, you'll be killed on sight. Just so you know. And if I hear from her, from the person that you's hurt so badly, that any of yous have called her name or that, yous will be killed on sight. Got it? That child has been through enough from all of yous. And yeah, and it would say, yeah. And he goes, like all the Anbu would also be there, but of course hiding and go, and also that also applies to you Anbu members, to everyone who lives in this village. It goes for everyone that lives in this village. And pick on her, you will pay the price. Yeah. And well, yeah, of course. Well, yeah, then everyone starts kind of separating as you go in, and everyone starts separating as they feel bad for just picking on a girl, which they just believed to hold the fox, which wasn't true. Obviously it is actually true, but like the hokage said, it wasn't, obviously, because he had to deal with her. And the elders are like, what? Why did you, tell us that she held the fox and that? And, and it's like, well, I'm not going to tell you why, because, simply put, yous have also, I know yous have also been with Donzo, and Donzo would have never really done it by himself unless he had other people with him. That if I ever found out and told everyone that, he would at least have you two to try and stop him or spread more rumours. So you two are also going to jail, as two Anbu members would appear and take them. As he's just like, as he thinks to himself, Minato, what would you do right now? Well, I guess if you was still here, none of this would have happened, as the people loved you, unlike me and the others, they loved you, Minato, so much that, even if your child was found out to have the QB inside, they still would have felt safe, because, well, you're the hokage, and if they found out that it was your daughter, who knows what would happen. I hope she'll come back in the village now. Yeah. And of course Minato, well, Ruby, to the best of her abilities, stayed at least back. And yeah, at least could hear, thanks to Kuma's influence and that. And yeah, and she at least kind of and Kuma's like, well, what are you gonna do now? Seems like he's followed through on on his half of the deal. Now it's time for you to follow on your half. It's like, well, he has to come to me. I'm not gonna go to him and go, okay, you totally no, he's gonna have to come to me, because, well, yeah, why would I be strolling around the village, after telling him that I hate everyone here, pretty much. And I was like, well, you're right there, Ruby, you're right there. And, well, yeah, go, well, I think it's about time that, you started training with my chakra. And she'd go, oh, what do you mean? It's like, I've been using, a bit of your chakra. It's like, that's not what I mean. I mean that if you pull out enough of my chakra, you will have a tail form behind you. This is like a chakra form of a tail, but pull out enough of my chakra and you will actually turn into me. It's called a tail. It's called and he's like, oh, so a perfect Jinchuriki. So you're starting my training on that. Oops. Yeah, and he's like, well, yeah, you could say that, but of course first you need to master my chakra, and my chakra is filled with a lot of like hatred and that as well. The 9,000 strongest of them all, and so well, you're the strongest and cutest of them all, I think. And so you would go, no, I'm not cute, I'm strong. It's like, and you go, well, you're sure you're strong, but you can be cute and strong. I feel like the cuter somebody is, the more likely they are to underestimate the strength that you hold. And yeah, that's kind of why, that more girls that become an actual ninja and become strong, like a lot of people underestimate just how strong people who seem weak can be strong, just how strong they could really be. And yeah. And well, yeah. It's like, well, anyway, go to like your house and go to your cave, I guess, and try and pull out 1 tails of my tower, and like in your mindscape I will, well, to you, like what you'd feel like is like, when you go to meet my chakra, you see 9 gates. There'll be the 9 chunks of my crusade chakra, so each gate is equal to 1 tail. So open all 9, that is all 9 tails, and you will transform into me. So, and it's like, so if I open 2 of them, I'll have 2 tails, and it goes like, yes. Like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay, so the more I open, the more tails I get, okay. And he will, well, yeah, as he kind of like runs back home, as he gets to a cave, so sit there, meditate, as she then opens her eyes, and in front of her is after walking a bit, she, will come up to a gate. Of course, she sees like 9 gates, one behind the other. And yeah, she then goes up and she pushes the first gate open, as the what looks like just a wave of, just like a pure wave of chakra hits her as she goes into the first herald. As of course her nettles get longer, her face becomes more feline. Yeah. And as she also goes onto all fours, and there's like, why there's so much chakra, there's like so much power coursing through me right now, and this is like only 1 tails, I'm just barely keeping under control. Yeah. And Kumail's like, see, if you try and open, the second one, you'd lose control. And while you'd go on a rampage, which isn't quite good, because everyone believes that, the person that's, got me is outside the village currently, which, well, obviously is a, giant lie. And, yeah. And so, for at least next week, that's what she's been practicing on, trying to keep herself calm and under control, and yeah. And, well, yeah, of course, the Hokage came, would come to see her, actually, just after, and she kind of does it in the morning now, instead of, like, late in the evening. She does it in the morning when she wakes up, so it's more of, like, a routine now. She get up, go find breakfast, have breakfast, well, hunt, get breakfast, cook it, eat it, then do training, tailed beast training, then after that, just like lay about or do some other training like shuriken training, like chakra control training and that, and some other stuff. Then go hunting again for dinner, and then like kind of, and like maybe wash, then if then of course just go to sleep, then go back to house, then sleep. Or back to like a kind of makeshift home. It's just cave. And the Hokage, just after she finishes training, so after, like, when she's coming back, she can see the Hokage there. And she's like, great, what does he want? And Kuma's like, well, don't forget, Ruby did promise that you'd move back into the village if he kept his side of the promise, which he did. It's like, oh right, I forgot. But, you should have come, the next day or that. It's like, well, yeah, but what happens if somebody else started, a new rumour about you? He at least, hopefully knew that you wouldn't, move into the village if another rumour started about you. So, yeah. And, though it should go, so, what are you doing then? Did you keep your end of the deal? Hokage? And then it's like, yes, Ruby, I kept my side of the promise. Now it's your turn to keep your side. It's like, well, I'm not just gonna live in like just a random like rundown like apartment, because if so, then I'm just better off living here, as this is more of a home than a rundown apartment would be. Sure, it will have clean, fresh running water, I'd have a bed and that, but I still would rather live out here than an apartment that's falling apart. And he's just like, well, that's that apartment off the list then. And go, well, then there's some apartments that I want to show you that, and you'd go through, like show around the, he would, you'd go, you'd go to the first one, the first one that he had in mind, because the actual first one he had in mind, she kind of shut down because of the fact that if it was run down or like it was falling apart, she would just move straight back to the, she would, go straight back to her home and just, and so this one at least, it was at least, clean, but she kind of didn't like it. And it'd be like this is the last one. And so it's like just it's not even an apartment, it's just like a home. Just like a home on like the kind of outskirts of the village. So nobody would really come to bother her. And this is like, if this is the last one, then I'll take it. It's like on the outskirts of the village. It's nice because it means nobody's going to be nobody should be coming in anywhere near here. And if they do, then I can assume then I've got all rights to, kill them. As the Hokage is like, well, yes, you've got all rights to kill them if they come in here, because nobody should be coming up here. As this is, it'd just be like, a random house, just like, on the outskirts of the village. It's like a, single bedroom house. But it's kind of been there for a while, but he's, kept it, kept it clean, and that he's had some people, some of the Ambus go in and keep it clean. And that. Yeah. And he's like, well, I'm gonna have at least some, some of my Ambu people look after you, if that's alright. And she's like, well, no, it's not alright, I don't need anyone looking after me. I was on my own for a year. Or I should say a year and 1 week. I was on my own I can live on my own, Hokage. I don't need nobody looking after me. Yeah, and it's like, but what happens if somebody comes, then somebody comes. I can handle them. Trust me, I've got the fox inside me, and trust me, if they come on this land, they are not walking home. Be it Ambu or anyone else, I will kill them. Only you are permitted to come on this land, Hokage. As he's like, well, fine. At least you're now, got a house. And and it's like, well, you should at least be able to buy your food without really anyone, calling you names. And if they do, just tell me and they'll be killed. And she's like, well, what but? And he's like, well, at least when you're in the village, can you have, an Ambu member with you? And she's like, well, he can be, the Ambu person can, be silent, meaning that I don't see him, or I'll see, So, well, as long as I can't see, and as long as nobody can see the Ambu the Ambu person, whoever you're assigned to look out, watch me to make sure nobody tries anything with me, then fine. But the second I walk onto my land, that person will go. Because if they follow me in, they will be killed. Of what? I'm gonna go. Yes, I will. Whoever will be with you when you're in the village, I will tell them, and they will stay just out. There'll be at least some guards just outside of your place. There's only 4 Ambu members that I trust, and that know that you'll have the QB inside of you. And I've told them that you at least know him, and that if you sense the QB's power, not to move from your point, as you're more likely, training with his power, as well. It makes sense to, but one other thing, when you turn 6, the ninja, the ninja academy, so you should have went in there and used 4, but then you should really go in there now. But I'd say, give you a year to, adapt to living, like in a house and come into a village and that, and yeah, then, you can maybe make some friends once you go to the academy. And she's like, well, do I have to go to the academy to become a ninja? And he's like, well, not really, but it's better if you do, because it stops any like more suspicion. Otherwise, people think something's like up with you then, and that I'm keeping, more secret. I'm keeping stuff from them, which I already am, and I'm not exactly happy. But yeah, and she's like, well, fine, Hokage, if I have to and I'm 6, then I will. But no, if I'm glad at in school, then I won't be going back. As she's like, I understand that, and if the teacher dies, I will have him removed immediately. And yeah, and this is where I'm going to end it, guys. So in the next part, we'll go through what like Minato's life would be like going through school, and maybe up to, I'd probably say also up to maybe up to probably like Team 7's maybe first couple of like missions. So yeah. Anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this, if you enjoyed it so much and you want to see more just like this, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next part of the video. The plan will do, and hey, good bye.